right, and now from Common Cause, we will have my friend Gino. Yay, everybody give a round of applause.
Good morning, everybody. They usually never let me talk to this many people at once, so someone made a mistake. We'll try to finish before they kick me off. Good morning, my name is Gino Lillo. I work with Common Cause North Carolina, and our mission, thank you, a little round of applause, thank you. And our mission is to fight for the truly multiracial and inclusive democracy that North Carolina deserves. And Ms. Tamika Walker-Kelly said it best, that public schools are the foundation of democracy, and it's worth saying again. But we aren't the only ones who have said this in the past. Now, when I went through public schools, history was my favorite subject. It's what I studied in college, and I know not everyone loves history, but we're gonna take a little history walk, a little history lesson with me, and I hope you'll join me. Mr. Thompson mentioned Reconstruction, and that's important to understanding where we are now. 57,240 days ago, or 156 years, which is a little bit easier to think of, just a few blocks down from where we are, over 100 recently freed men who were formerly slaves in North Carolina met in 1866 for what was known as the Freedmen's Convention. And at the Freedmen's Convention that took place on October 2nd through the 5th of 1866, they were doing so in a moment where the 13th Amendment had passed, but the meaning of what freedom was still contested and unclear. And so in an act of hope and faith, they met at what is now St. Paul AME Church to issue a call for three things that they envisioned as the future of democracy and freedom in North Carolina. They called for, of course, public education. They said that the goal of this convention is that everyone would go home to all 60 counties they were representing at the time and open schools where none shall be denied on the account of color or the account of poverty. Just what we're fighting for right now. They also demanded the vote. Because of course, the right to vote, to have your voice heard in democracy, and they also demanded land, economic ownership over their future. They saw the three as interconnected, that to have freedom, you needed land, you needed the vote, and you needed public education. They were fighting for what W.E.B. Du Bois called abolition democracy. Not just democracy for a few, not just democracy for those who had land, but the creation of a racially just society where all could participate. Say with me, abolition democracy. That was the charge in 1866. And just like the Every Child NC Coalition does now, their charge was that the real work was not the convention, it was to build local grassroots solidarity and networks in every county of this state. And so I'd say that all of you have followed that charge and lived up to that charge, haven't you? Oh, come on, have you? Yes, you have. That's right. Now, the thing I want to say to close this out is that they met in 1866, and just 2 years later, they passed the Reconstruction Constitution of North Carolina in 1868. 1868. That's right. Now, in 2023, we're still here, inexplicably, or maybe explicably. And at the same time as they continued their war on public education, the North Carolina General Assembly is considering two bills that the state Senate will vote on today that will dramatically restrict access to the vote and representation that we deserve, the representation that would fully fund public education in this state. And so the reason I'm here and that I'm grateful to be invited is that much like in 1866, when the meaning of freedom was contested, was unclear, but there was a clear vision for moving forward, that meant solidarity in the trenches between those who fought for democracy and those who fought for public education and saw that they were not different, that they were one and the same. So thank you very much for having me here, and thank you for the rest of the day.